Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hi, Red Star, how are you? Hi, Sarah. I'm well, thank you. How are you doing? Bonsoir, mon ami. Ça va bien? I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Granted, it depends on where you live in the world, right? Hi, Maria. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Chillin'? Nice. Hi, Raven. I thought I would pop on, see what everybody's doing. Hi, Tiff. My timing is great? Good. Much better, Claudia. Much better. Hi, Didi. Much better. I'm feeling still sore in some places, but I'm okay. Oh, tu es fatigué, enrhumé. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Hi, Vangster. How are you? Hi, Ashish. How are things in South Africa? I got a kitty cat who wants to join us, of course, as per usual. Tarot's good. He roamed the house for the first time last night. I did not shut the bedroom door, so he had full access to everything, except for the laundry room. I'm not venturing with that yet. Hi, Tamara. Much better, thank you. So he's had full reign of the house. He's explored, he's played, but he's still a little bit apprehensive, but in due time, it's all gonna get better. Oh, Maria, I explained it in one of my lives the other day. If you go back to the live from Thursday, it's too long of a story, but I'm okay. Oh, hi, Katie. All is well. How are you doing? I'm glad you're here. Hi, Emlyn. How are you? Yeah, he's a sweetheart, Raven. He really is. Yeah. Hey, girl. Hey, how are you? Hope everybody's having a good day. Am I married? No, no. Today I rested. I also filmed another video for my Manifesting the Better series. This video is going to be about how I made the move or why it took me so long to make the move. So you can look forward to that one coming soon. Hi, Mike. I'm doing well. How are you? Hi, Kathy. Hi, Dana. I was married. I was married. No longer married. Hi, Matthew. What are you guys up to today? Tell me what you've been doing. I also washed some dishes. I talked to my mom. Did some things around the house. Oh, I changed the hose on my dryer after I damaged the other one. And other than that, just had something to eat. Oh, definitely sending you good vibes for your new job. Yes. I hope you get it too. Hi, Tammy. Good evening. Hi, Martha. You're up to about 5:10. Good, Mike. Good for you. Mom is good. Mom is good. She just had a birthday recently, and she's enjoying her time in Germany, enjoying the nice sunny weather. It's very warm there, and she's having a good time. Nice. You're in Iceland. I've always wanted to go to Iceland. Hi, Francesco. Do I like England? Absolutely. What state this is? I'm in Ontario, Canada. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Sending you lots of positive vibes as well. I would love to visit. One of these days I will. I'll fly into Iceland and then onto Germany next time. That would be really nice. A friend and I thought about doing that once. So you went for a walk and did some housekeeping? Nice. Hi, Diane. You'd love to go to Iceland too? Hi, Andrew. Good morning. Yes, I'm definitely feeling better. Thank you. You're from Michigan, but you live in Virginia. So Michigan is not far, right? Only a few hours. You took a relaxing spiritual bath, took a nap, stayed off social media until like 10 minutes ago. Perfect timing, Katie. Hi, Zen. I'm well, thank you. How are you? So yeah, I thought I'd come on quickly. Although it was suddenly like it feels like dark all of a sudden. It was so bright a moment ago. I thought I'd come on and do like a quick reading with you guys. I've had some people ask me if I could do some live readings again on YouTube. So I was thinking next week, maybe Wednesday, I'll do some live readings with you guys if anybody's interested. You feel heavy energy today? Well, Dana, I do think that the energy has been heavy, and I'll tell you why it is today. This is one of those weekends where, not to put fear into anybody, but it's one of those weekends where they're like, yeah, don't really go out and engage with people because it's very high tension. You're interested? Okay. I'll post it on my story on Instagram, or I'll make a post on Instagram. I'll make a post on YouTube. And I'm thinking there'll be Wednesday. So it'll give you guys some time to prepare and think about it. You'd love to do that again? Awesome. Perfect. Would Wednesday be a good day? It's this kind of energy right now that's very tense for people. Like people are in conflict or getting into it, popping off. We know there's a lot of tension in the world, obviously, and it's very much aligning with the astrology. So, you know, yeah, you're self-aware enough to know it's not you, Dana. Exactly. Yeah, Canada is really close. Yeah, very close. I mean, when I say a few hours, I mean like a few hours from me. I mean, if you were, in Windsor, Ontario, you'd be very close to Detroit, right? But yeah. Oh, excuse me. I just had some Ninja Creamy. I made a strawberry shortcake protein shake in the Ninja Creamy with some fresh strawberries. I don't know if any of you have been doing any recipes with the Ninja Creamy, for those of you that have one, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah, I'm going to do a reading, G. Yeah, that doesn't help the energy, Dana, for sure. For sure. Yes, this is one of my cats, Pandy. Yes. Hi, Jimmy. So yeah. All right, everybody, tell me your word of the day. Let's get into a bit of the reading before it gets too dark. I already feel like I have like cat fur in my lip gloss, excuse me. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. She's a very sweet, sweet girl. I said strawberry shortcake and I was like, and then you said protein drink and I was like, no, it's actually really good. It's really good. I didn't think I'd like it. I resisted buying it at Costco. It's the Alani strawberry shortcake protein shake. And it's actually really good. I'm shocked. I didn't think it would be that good. So, yeah. Why does a Ninja Creamy sound dirty to you? Because it does sound dirty. Everybody's like, Ninja Creamy. Okay, Pandy, I love you, but we can't do this right now. Hi, Nick. How are you? No, you're not going to get banned. It's all good. I'm on 3 platforms at once. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. You're productive today. Volunteered at the car show today. Nice. That's wonderful. It's winter in Australia, so Maria, you're feeling the opposite weather than we're having. It's a little bit cooler for you guys. Hi, Kat. How are you? Corey, you feel anxious today? So, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. You're welcome here anytime. All right, let's get into the cards. Let's kind of see what's going on. Hi, Jen. How are you? Let's see. What's the vibe? I'm on a little later than usual, or I'm not always on Saturdays, but I thought to myself, you know what? Why not? Why not? I was in the mood. Hi, Michael. How are you? It's been a good day. I'm glad to hear that. You feel antsy and nostalgic? There's a lot of nostalgia in the air. A lot of testing, right? I'm doing well, Jen. Thank you. All right, current energy right now. Ooh, King of Wands. fiery, passionate, nurturing, the drive to move forward. There's creativity in the air, which is a nice idea. We'd like to create some new things. Let's see, what do we need to know? Resistance. Who is fighting the shift? Who is fighting the shift? Who's holding themselves back from being creative or doing something new? Somebody could be suppressing their emotions, and there could be some shyness even. There could even be a secret admirer, everybody. This King of Wands. Somebody could be watching, observing, not saying anything yet, taking it all in. So very interesting. You know me, I have my language of Let's see what else we need to know. The beaver. Mike, it's one of your favorite cards. The beaver card. Hi, Matt. How are you? Things working against you, but persistence pays off. Meaning somebody's shyness could be holding them back, but persistence, right, versus resistance, kind of interesting, we have similar words, is key. So very curious to see where this is going to go. Let's see the potential or the challenge with this. Oh, the sun. The sun is a yes card. Yeah, working up the courage kind of energy, Nick. Exactly. Maybe somebody's working up the courage to say something or to express something or to show some interest, maybe. Now we need the bear. Exactly. Exactly. We'll see what comes up. The sun. Very fiery energy. I've been seeing a lot of Leo, but keep in mind, we still feel the vibes of that full moon in Sag. You know, I don't think that that was an easy moon. I think that it's lingering. I think that there's a lot of change in the air. You feel grateful, Tammy. I'm really glad to hear that. Okay, Pandy. Pandy is persistent. There you go. There's the persistence. Pushy Pandy, as I always say. So, let's see. Oh, I think it depends on the day, Tamara. Some days my hair looks long, some days it looks shorter. I think it depends on where I part it or how I style it. I'm always amazed at how my hair can look so different in every video that I do. And what I mean by that is like length or where I part it. Oh, and the messed up dreams, Dana. Oh my gosh, last night, my dreams. I tell you, every day for the last while. Hi, Ramsey. Every day for the last while, my dreams have just been like, just crazy. The black and white deck. I don't know the name of it, Alex. I have to look it up. I don't know, unless I have the box somewhere here, and I don't think I do. But I will look for you. You made the decision to cut someone out of your life. This is an ex. We've been lingering. Yeah, you gotta cut that cord, right? Yeah. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Yours have been this way for months. I feel like I'm just used to it, Dana. So for me, it just it's like any other day. But it always like astounds me sometimes, like to think like, what is this? Like sometimes it just feels like such a different timeline, you know? Well, you still can, Em. You know what? I went a little bit darker months ago, like in the sense of like I let it kind of come through like my natural more. But I have to admit, I like my hair lighter. I think I'm the happiest when I'm blonder. I don't even think I'm blonde enough right now. I could still easily say next time go blonder. That's the thing when you're really blonde. You never think you're blonde enough. Zen, do I have cord cutting ceremonies? Not necessarily. I think there's different ways to do it, but it all depends on what you're looking to do. Or I don't necessarily think it's always important. What matters is that you make the decision. That's part of it. Thank you. Life is good. I appreciate it. So, thank you, Ramsey. That's very kind of you. You're hitting up the town tonight? Okay, so the Sun card, family. Interesting. Interesting. Fertility. We're birthing something new. The sun is definitely important to help things grow, right? So there's an element here of new, right? New energy, but it's got to take its time. It's got to nurture, right? That's that King of Wands, that nurturing energy. So yeah, DR, it really is. I agree with you. Hi, Cora. How are you? Ah, yes, spring into action. So spring is always about like fertility as well, right? Like the start of a new season, you know, roots starting to grow. It's your parents' 45th wedding anniversary. Congratulations. Happy anniversary, Katie. Hi, Steph. So let's take a look at what we should focus on today. Hi, OG Kush. How are you? Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Martha. Very kind of you. Hi, Brian. Let's see. What should we focus on today? Six of Wands. Look at that fire coming through. Victory. Do you believe you can have it? I always ask that. Do you believe that you can have it? He's good, Diane. New Kitty is good. He's coming out of his shell. He's playing more. He's rolling. He's very affectionate. Hi, Joseph. How are you? Hi, Candy. How are you? Brian, I'm doing a general collective reading for everybody. If you'd like to do a personal reading, I do offer private readings that are either recorded via YouTube link or Zoom. I'm also going to be doing some paid live readings next week on YouTube. Hi, Christine. And I'm thinking about doing them on Wednesday. So if you're looking for, you know, a real, you know, in the moment reading, then I will be doing them. Hopefully I have some moderators for Wednesday. You guys are always so great. But if not, I understand. Hi, Malulu. How are you? I am, Kitty. I'm having a good day. Yes. So let's see. The Six of Wands. I do a lot of coaching, Kush, yes. You need some closure about things. Yeah, totally understand. So let's see. Victory, divine masculine. You know what's interesting? Sun is divine masculine. We've already seen that. King of Wands, very strong masculine energy that is very nurturing. And then we have like this chess piece. And this basically is like forward motion. Dana, I'm thinking about probably my usual time, like from 4, like starting at 4 Eastern. So you're a couple hours behind me, right? So probably like 2 o'clock your time. Yeah, I know, Diane. I know. YouTube is a whole other, you know, beast in that aspect. But, oh, I'm so sorry, Gail. My condolences to you. That's not easy. 8 years since you lost your son. Yeah. I'm really sorry. That'd be awesome, Dana. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure there's possibilities to stagger that or to help out. Okay, Pandy, pushy Pandy. Okay, let's see what else we need to know. Divine masculine, Six of Wands. And there is the Devil card. Okay, restrictions. You know, it's interesting. Now, this could be 2 ways. The King of Earth and the Devil. The Devil card is restrictions, addictions, codependency, things holding you back. And then at the same time, it could be King of Earth where it's just slow. Very, very slow. The Divine Masculine, I would more than likely bet is extremely slow moving. Right? They're usually 10 steps behind. You're going through a divorce. I'm sorry to hear that, dear. I know how you feel. I've been through it. I made a video about going through that, and I haven't even done the rest of the discussions yet. I have many more videos to come on those topics. But to get a private reading, Ramsey, you go to the link in my description. Or if you go to my channel, there's a website. It's kellylorraine111.com. And I haven't posted it yet. It depends. If you want a private reading, like that no one else sees, you can go to my website and order that right away. Within the day, I'm going to be posting a link on my website for the paid readings on YouTube next week. So if you don't mind it in front of other people, then that's up to you. I don't know, Raven. I think they are and they aren't, as in cancers in that aspect, though. It depends. It depends. Oh, thank you, Dana. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing a collective right now. Yeah, Malulu. Sending you love. I know it's not easy. Okay, you want a private reading. So yeah, go to my website and can arrange that. Oh, your middle name is also Lorraine. Nice, Sherry. Hi, Che. I'm well, thank you. How are you? Okay, sounds good, Ramsey. I appreciate it. Do I use tools? I don't typically. I mean, do I have crystals? I love crystals. But to help me? No, not necessary. Alex just said, Kelly, we want quick, thoughtful movement, no more slow. The thing is, we can't rush anything. That's why I trust the process, right? Oh, you had a quiche, Lorraine, last night. Well, well, tarot cards are tools. You're right. That is true. But I don't necessarily need cards to read a situation. Most of the times when I'm talking to people, cards only come out in the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just to give the validation. Let's see. What is the recent past? Oh, thank you, Shannon. I appreciate it. The recent past. Am I giving, this is a general collective, Sherry. I'm going to be doing live readings on YouTube on Wednesday, I believe. I'm going to try to aim for Wednesday. If you'd like one that's private, I can do recorded ones, or we can do live on Zoom. The recent past does show the Three of Swords. So you may have been feeling some sadness or heartbreak, or even some grief. You know, that's not typically a grief card, but it's sadness, you know? And I think that there has been this vibe of change in the air and letting go of certain things. Hi, Jesh. How are you? I really appreciate that, Chi. Same to you. Thank you, Vincenzo. I appreciate it. Okay, so Three of Swords in the recent past and time. See, this is what I was saying, Alex. Timing, right? Hi, Maddie. How are you? So this says, of course, divine timing, but it does say on there waiting. And you guys know what I say about waiting. Waiting only keeps you waiting. If you're going when are they going to reach out? When are they going to this? When am I going to find that? When will I have this? When just brings you more waiting. So be careful. It also says cycles. So you have to end a cycle of broken heart. Yeah, watched water never boils. I say that all the time. Watching a pot of boiling water is the most painful thing, or like watching paint dry. You know what I mean? Like, go do something in the meantime, and you'll see how fast that water boils, right? Thank you, Kim. I really appreciate it. How are you doing? Only about Gemini? These are not sign-specific readings. I've done sign-specific readings, but they require a lot of time and a lot of work. But I can do one for you, like privately, if that's something you'd like. So the time card, yeah, the Hierophant, slow. There you go, Alex. Slow energy, methodical steps. It takes time, effort, and consistency to work through a broken heart or to let something go, right? Thank you, Maddie, to you too. So the strength position right now is the Eight of Swords. How many of you are overthinking? Like, you're in your head right now thinking about all the different angles of something, or you're worried about something, or you're constantly going back and forth about what to do. That would not surprise me. Yeah, you're doing that? Hi, Denise. How are you? So let's see. You're a Cap. Yeah, well, Capricorns definitely overthink, you know, for sure. They hold on, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. The Eight of Swords. Only you. Oh, somebody is like thinking about a specific person. Very devoted, attached, and craving. Hi, Brian. And craving. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. Oh boy, this is where it gets tricky, right? You have to know that the more you energetically chase someone by overthinking and looking at old conversations or old pictures or all the different past events, you're holding yourself back. That's only going to keep you in old energy. And this says more info needed. It's almost like somebody's trying to figure out the reasons why. You know, I've had a few conversations lately with people where I've said, you know, does it really matter this, or that? What matters is, are you happy? Is it a good connection for you? Does it feel balanced? Do you feel like you're receiving something out of it? Are you getting a return on your investment? That's what matters, not the details in between, right? Oh, thanks, Raven. I'm sorry to hear that you're overthinking right now. Sherry just said, I broke up with a guy a month ago, but found out yesterday he was still with his ex-wife all along. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Sherry. But that's your protection. Meaning, now that you know, right? It's hard to unknow those type of things. I'm from Toronto, Canada, Che. Hi, Carol Ann. It's not about ignoring DR. It's about not feeding the old story or the old energy. Trying to bring it together is only going to make it run away. And I think the issue that most people have, and myself included when I went through this, is that it sounds so counterintuitive, right? But the issue is that the more you try to make it happen, the more you're going to get resistance. That's why we say trust the process. That's why I say it. You know, you've had a lot of revelations, Christine. So I think that when we're trying to force a connection or try to make it work or manifest a specific person, the reason why it doesn't happen, in my opinion, is that we're taking all the energy out of ourselves and putting it into someone else. How long have I been doing this? At this point, over 4 years professionally, but I started before, and I've had this gift my whole life. So this is, it's kind of been for a very long time. You know, makes sense, Joseph? I just feel like everybody thinks the right answer is to chase it, is to try to manifest it, but then people ignore their self-concept. And that's why I have very mixed feelings about law of attraction, law of assumption, because I can understand why they're both useful. You know, there's a lot of law of assumption coaches out there, and I think they're great. I think that the concept is great. The problem that I have with it is that I don't think most people will work on their self-concept. They'll work on trying to manifest a specific person. Well, you know, they only love me, they only want me, they crave me, and all these affirmations, when in reality, putting the energy into yourself and why you view yourself a certain way, or what are the assumptions you make about yourself, are actually more important than what you assume about somebody else. Because if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have a strong self-concept, then how will you manifest another person? You're going to manifest really what energy you put out or who you are. Right? So if you're meeting people who are emotionally unavailable, then chances are there's a part of you that's emotionally unavailable. Right? Yeah, I'm sorry, Sherry, that happened. Hi, Artemis. How are you? So it's, yeah, Christine, you agree? I think it's hard sometimes for people to see it that way, though, because we don't really understand the root of why we feel the way we feel. You know, it comes from childhood. It comes from old trauma. You know, if we were abandoned as a child, if we were, you know, made to feel a certain way as a child, then they stay with us. Those things stay with us. Law of becoming, become what you are wanting to receive. Exactly. Well, that's why they always say, make a list of all the things you want in a person and then be those things, right? Hi, Becca. How are you? Hi, Marcos. How are you? You're feeling isolated from not being near, oh, you feel isolated from not being near family and friends? Hi, Ardella. Nice to see you. Hi, Cindy. Nice to see you. So let's take a look at the near future. Let's see what we need to know. Two of Swords. There's the decision point. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? Okay, Pandy, I love you, but she's got to wait. You've been feeding your inner child, been bouncing on a massive bouncy castle today. It was your daughter Lily's birthday. Happy birthday to Lily, Maddie. That's amazing. So are you in the old, are you in the new? Now, I know that that's not the traditional meaning of this card, but if you really think about it, it's a decision point. And so I always say, any decision you're making, I don't care what the decision is, ask yourself, are you in the old or are you in the new? Kelly of yesteryear would do this. Kelly of today would not. The things that I would have accepted in the past, I will not accept today. You know? I do feel better, Becca. I do feel better, thankfully. Yeah, nice to see Pandy too. She's being pushy Pandy today. Denise just said going to have supper with an ex. Well, I mean, as long as they're coming correct and they have something new to share. Remember what I always say, ask them if there's something new. If there's nothing new, then you know you're going to get the same old, same old, same old, right? So, dear, the problem with that is the dreams. You keep texting. And that's the issue, is engaging in the behavior. If we're engaging in the behavior, then it's also our responsibility, right? You just had this situation, Christine. Apparently nothing is new. So I always, like, you know me, I'm always up for a chance, right? But the problem is that when somebody doesn't display any new behavior or any new information or any new healing, then what's the point? It's really just to go another round of breadcrumbing and old stuff that you just don't need, you know? Hi, Debbie, how are you? Anne's joined the other side. Happy Saturday. Yes. So in the near future, you've got to decide really, like, are you in new energy? Do you want the new energy? I mean, look, a lot of us say we want the new energy, right? We want the new energy, but we're often afraid of it and we avoid it. We push it away because we don't know what to do with it, even though we don't want to be in the old stuff. This sounds like your life, Raven. I feel you. I've been through it. I know how it feels. Yeah, Christine just said, it's just disappointing how much he's resisting the healing. I know. And Christine, the problem is that the definition of insanity, right, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's the problem. We hope that somebody's going to change. And the reality is that change does not happen in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It takes real time, consistency, and effort to make real, valid change. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I resigned from my French teaching career a few years ago. Hi, Phoenix. So you're in life or death to change. So, I mean, sometimes I always say, if you got to make it or break it, you got to make it, right? And Christine just said 3 years, LOL. Sometimes people can't. They fight it. Well, but Christine, there's a part of you, and forgive me for saying this though, because it's many of us, it's not just you. 3 years, I've spent 3 years in that position as well. At a certain point, there has to be a breaking point, or there has to be a moment that says, I just can't do this anymore. I cannot even entertain it anymore. And each person is different, but it's really about you at this point, or it's about us when we're in that position. It's not about them, because you know who they are. They're showing who they are. And if they're not showing any change, then it's on us to make that boundary and say no, even if we miss them, even if we love them. Love, in my opinion, just isn't enough. You can love somebody till the cows come home. And there's nothing wrong with loving a person. You can love a person, but you cannot force a connection to grow or to go to the next level or a commitment. It is something that two people have to be on the exact same page and have to make it work and to want to. You know, is the car in the driveway? And is Nick saying yes? Yes. Is the car in the driveway? If the car is not consistently in the driveway, then it's a no. Hi, Ron. How are you? It can be hard to be in the new, but the old isn't working, as you're saying, right? It's like an ego death. Yes. So I would just say that You have to also want change. Not everybody wants change or likes change. The change sounds like a great idea, but it requires a lot of work to do it. It's discipline. It's like diet and exercise. It's like addiction. It's like anything. There has to be a level of discipline there. What if the car is in the garden? It's not in the driveway. It's not in the garage. Yeah. To some extent, it doesn't always have to be 50-50, Mike, but it's got to be something that is worth it to you, you know? Hi, James. It's got to be something that's worth it to you. Is it worth it to you? And I was watching a video by Margarita Nazarenko. I'm sure many of you have seen her videos before. She talks a lot about, what things that we talk about. And she made a great representation, like a demonstration that really reiterates what I always say as well about capacity. And she said, if you imagine taking like a tall glass of water and a shot glass, right? She was saying that you're filled to the top with all this love that you want to give, right? Hi, Nicole. And when you pour that tall glass of water into that shot glass, you drown them, you overflow them, you overwhelm them, right? And that's why they don't have the capacity. When they have a shot glass and they say, this is all I have for you, right? This is all I can give you. And they pour it into your tall glass, your glass isn't even full. And what she was saying was, you either got to fill the rest of that glass up with work, hobbies, other things, and be okay with whatever they're giving you, or it's not a match. And it's what I've always said about capacity. If someone doesn't have the capacity, there's nothing you can do to force it. You either have to accept what they're giving you, or it's not a match. Is it wrong to see someone again from the past? No. It just depends how many times you've done the same thing with no change. It's up to you, right? Everybody makes their decisions. Yeah, she made a great video about it. Yeah, no, I'm just telling you what she did in her video, but it's something that you saw that video too. It was a great analogy. Yeah. And I always talk about capacity because I feel like we forget that people have a limit, they have a limit. I want you to think about yourself, about how you have a limit as well, right? We talk about everybody else like they don't have a capacity. When do you recognize that you don't have capacity? Because in my life, in my world, in my experience, I know where I have my capacity and I will not go beyond it. If I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do something. If somebody is pushing me to do something that I don't want to do, I will go completely the other direction. If I'm nagged about something constantly, I will not engage. It's minimal because I just can't, or I don't want to. And that's what it comes down to. And sometimes people, when they have a lot going on in their lives, or they have other priorities, or they have trauma and they have triggers, they don't want to deal with it. And I guess that's up to them. That's up to each individual person to decide for themselves. Remember, it's your mind, your body, and your soul. You don't have to do what everybody else says. You can do whatever you want. It's your existence. If you want to stew in your existence, do it. If you want to change your existence, do it. But everybody does have a choice in their own mind, body, and soul, right? We don't have the right to tell a potential partner or love interest how to love and what to do. They have to show up. Hi, Katie Louise. Yeah, you're the same way, Ardella? We're all changing and growing. We've got to decide what's best for ourselves, right? But again, we have to stop with the pressure because we don't like pressure. Imagine somebody was pressuring you. You wouldn't like it either, right? And I give the same old example. You seem to be caught in the loop, Nicole. You've been tweaking little things. Yeah. It requires change and like consistency, like I said. But I want to remind you of something. I used to always give this example with the cards. I want to give you the analogy, right? When you go to somebody and you basically say, I love you, 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 I love you. I want to give, 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 give. Let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. Here, here, here. Okay? You're showing all your cards. That's why they run. They're like, what? What? They can't even fathom why you want to give to them, because they don't know how to receive. They don't believe in themselves. Now imagine for a second, somebody comes to you, anybody, and says, I love you, I love you, I love you, I want to give, 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 give. Here, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. Okay, please, just one more chance. Let's go here. Let's figure this out. But I love you. Like, if you really think about it from that perspective, like, you have to put the shoe on the other foot. You have to put the shoe on the other foot. If somebody came to you and tried to push you and tell you, and let's say you didn't feel the same way, or you didn't have the capacity, or whatever it was, for whatever reason, what would you do? You would be like, I'm sorry, what? What? And you would probably run, right? So understand that there are different facets to this. It's not just one way. It can go many ways. I wish I could tell you what will happen. I have no idea. Bye, Zen. Have a good night. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying bye to me. I read it as bye, sweetie. Yeah, you're running real fast. Bye, sweetie. I'm running real fast. You just had that happen, Nicole. You had to realize that's what I'd been doing, but I didn't until it was done. Yeah, until it was done to me. Exactly. I will love them and squeeze them and call them George. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. It's so hard, like, when you hear in their voice that they do love you. Yes, of course. It's never about love. It's really never about love. People do care, but they don't have the capacity. Dana just said, I'd say God has a plan for me and you're not it. And look, not everybody's going to be a match. Not everybody is going to reciprocate. Look, everybody, I would assume, maybe I shouldn't assume, has been interested in somebody who didn't reciprocate. That is par for the course. You're not going to love everybody who's into you, and vice versa, right? Well, Zen, I thought it was such a term of endearment that you were calling me, you know? So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. We've all been there. We've all had rejection at some point. We've all had to deal with ego issues and fear and insecurities. Everybody's got something. We wouldn't be human if we didn't, right? But it is what it is. The pain of separation eventually passes. And you know what's interesting, Maria? I mean, there's this saying that separation is really an illusion. And look, when you have a connection with someone, and by the way, there are various levels of connection. Some you're going to have acquaintances. Some you're going to be friends with somebody. Some you're going to have feelings of more than friends. Some you're going to have romantic partners. Some you're going to have the most deepest of soul connections, if you want to say twin flames, whatever label you want to use. Every connection adds value in your life to some extent. It brought you something, but it doesn't have to be the be all end all. It can just be whatever it is. It can be that, look, we've crossed paths and, you know, we've had a nice interaction with each other, but it doesn't mean that it has to be more than just an acquaintance, just a friend, just a coworker, just a, you know, I don't know, a fling, whatever it is. Everything is for a reason, but we can't force it or try to define it. Let things be the way they're meant to be. That's right, Gemini. Everyone comes into your life for a reason, a season, or a lesson. It's just, I think the issue is when we're trying to force something. And that's the problem. We're trying to control it. And that's that masculine energy that, you know, is not so great. Because if you want to be in masculine energy for your own personal growth and evolution, do it. You want to achieve your goals, do it. Go to school again, do it. You want to get a new job, you want to get a promotion, do it. You want to better yourself, do it. But when we start pouring the energy into another person and forcing them to reciprocate, forcing them to heal, forcing them to do something beyond their capacity, then it becomes control, right? And control is not going to bring you what you want. It's going to bring you the exact opposite. And that's, again, back to my point about counterintuitiveness. Everybody thinks that if they hold on so tightly, they're going to get what they want. And then when they don't get what they want, then they wonder why, right? It's the idea of when someone wants to walk out the door, if somebody doesn't want to engage, talk about something, whatever it is, you have to let them be. They're more than likely to come back to you. They're more than likely to be more open to you if you let them be. The more you force it, the more you push it, the more you grab on, the more they're not going to want any part of it. Nobody can resist you, Zen. Go for it. Go for it. Strut your stuff. Right? But let things happen naturally, right? Yeah, Mike just said, roll with those tower moments of life. It's the opportunity to build and create better, always. So, the one person you really loved rejected you, then hung around, started these crossover dreams. So they stay around because we allow them. That is the bottom line and the honest truth. It's not that if you ignore someone, they like you more. It's not a game. It's saying, maybe it's, I love you, but I love myself more. I like you, but I like myself more, right? So it's not about playing a game. The universe knows your intentions. If your intention is to manipulate just to get somebody back, it knows. If your intention is pure for yourself, it's just like texting, like the rule of texting. If you're trying to text somebody to contrive something like, oops, I accidentally messaged you. Oh, I sent you this meme, or you're double texting. If your intention is to get a response or a validation, then you're not going to get what you're looking for. If your intention is you really don't care what comes back to you, like you really don't care, genuinely, honestly don't care, that's a different story. But how many people are actually in that energy of, I really don't care? Most people subconsciously have an expectation that's attached to it, and the expectation is the problem. The expectation is the root of all issues, because we think that if we do something that other people have to do it the same way we do it. If I love somebody, I'm expecting them to love me the same way. If I give to someone, they're supposed to give to me the same way. But that's not really love. That's really transactional. It's not play it cool. It's live your life. It's just live your life. It's not worrying about what other people are doing. It's worrying about what you're doing. Because the second you stop worrying about what someone else is doing, your life actually flourishes. It's when we're focusing on other people versus ourselves that we're not getting any movement or any change, right? So you have zero expectations anymore. It's hard. And look, we're all human. This is the point. We're all human. This is not the easiest thing in the world to surrender. What do you think is the number one question spiritually that people ask? They ask for, to surrender. Okay, but how? Yeah, you tried to be friends, but there is no friendship here. That's the point. It's not friendship because the feelings are more than friendship. So I always use the example of old episodes of Who's the Boss? When Tony and Angela crossed the line from being friends, Tony and Angela, just a flirtation, it changed. The whole sitcom changed. The whole dynamic changed. And if something doesn't go right in that relationship, there's no going back to just Tony and Angela, right? And I don't hang out with old exes. We're not sitting here being best friends. Now, if you have children with an ex and you've got to co-parent and you've got to coexist, there is possibility for friendship. But friendship is more like an acquaintance in that situation. My ex-husband is my mortgage agent. I can talk to him about my mortgage any day of the week, but we're not hanging out together, right? Nick just said, if you're minding someone else's business, who's minding yours? Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's why it took 7 seasons to get them together. And then what? And then how did that go, right? The whole thing changed, right? It's sad that it comes with the feeling of defeat. It's not so much that it's defeat, Gemini. I'll tell you what it is, even though I know it feels that way. You're never starting at zero. You're starting with knowledge you didn't have before. You have to remember that, right? It's knowledge you didn't have before. Smarter, wiser, but now it's time to implement it. If we're doing the same thing over and over again, so lovers can't go back to being friends, in my opinion, Raven, I mean, can I think of anybody that I've been physically attached to? Are they my best bud? Are they my buddies? No. I don't see my friends without clothes, right? So, hi, Delana. That's what Mike just said. It's different. Funny, we said it at the same time. It's difficult to be friends with those you've seen. Yeah. Yeah. So, 444 on your phone confirmed. There you go. There you go. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think we'd like to think that it's possible. And I'm not saying that 100% of the time it's going to be that way, but the majority of the time it's going to be very hard to be friends. Let me ask this question. Let's take a quick poll. Poll, not POLE for our jokes. Think about it like this. How many of you have ever had a situation where you said you tried to be friends after breaking up? How did it work for you? How did it work? Did one person always have feelings? You or the other person? Well, that's a different kind of relationship, Sarah. Like you're friends with people you've slept with, but they're always just friends. Well, that's maybe because it was just, that's all it was, right? That's what you're saying. You know? 100% regarding friends with no clothes, yeah. Yeah, but you weren't engaging like in a different manner though. You may have seen them, Cap, but that didn't mean you were, engaging with them all. So thank you, Nicholas. That's very kind of you. So I'm just saying, ask yourself, because I've done it. Believe me, my first love, when I was in university, I'll put it to you this way. We used to say to each other all the time, oh, let's just be friends. Let's just be friends. Listen, we were never friends. Never friends. Never. Every time we tried to be friends, it always ended up back in the same old where we were definitely not friends. You're trying that right now. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, I get it. So, all right. So let's get back to the reading. Two of Swords. Are we in the old or are we in the new? You might have to withdraw. You might have to withdraw. Or if that person that you're dealing with, if it's a person, is withdrawn, then you have to respect it. And that's it. This woman would jump into my bed when she had boyfriends. We never really hooked up until we both had kids with different people. I understand, DR. At the same time, though, if you allow the behavior, right, and you get attached, then that's the issue, right? So, yeah, definitely a no-no. Yeah, you would never. I get it. Hi, Tori. I'm well, thank you. How are you? Okay, now it's getting dark, actually. I feel like the lighting is changing because it's getting dark outside. I don't have any lights on. I am, Barry. How are you doing? So, let's see. Thank you, Tori. Yes, the time has come, possibly to withdraw your energy. It is what it is. If it's not working for you, then you have to think about it, right? So the suggested approach is the Empress, birthing a whole new cycle. And it's Venus energy. It's self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. Again, I love you, but I love myself more. I've got to do something new. I've got to spark new energy. I've got to do different. If you want different, you got to do different. See, releasing. You got to release the old. Letting go, moving on, walking away. It's not easy to do, but it can also be the best thing that ever happened to you. How do you know that new energy isn't going to be amazing? Yeah, Queen of Swords, boundaries, Nick, exactly. And the problem is that most people, and I talk about this in the video that I filmed today about why it took me so long to leave my marriage. This says now is not the time. Everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody, many people will say or give the excuse that now's not the time. I can't because I have this obligation. Finances are an issue. Family's an issue. We have kids. We have this. We have that. Everybody can find a reason why not to do something versus the reasons why you can do something. So it all depends on your perspective, right? So you have to ask yourself, are you being honest, about where things are at? Nick just said, if not now, then when? Yes. Yeah. Every day's a reset button. I do believe every day's a new day. Yeah, Steph, I agree. It is. And it's exciting. It's hard to make the leap, life, but here's my question. Why not? What if the ex is crying about it all the time? Don't entertain it, Maria. Don't listen to it. If you're allowing them to complain and to cry at you, that's because you're allowing it. Plain and simple. And I'll give you the example that I used to give about my ex-husband when he used to try to convince me to get back together. And he would say, Kelly, brick by brick, take that wall down, you know? And I'd be like, no, I have to make, well, in this case, it was him. I'd have to make him more uncomfortable than me. Meaning, he's got to get tired of the crying. He's got to get tired of the asking and getting stonewalled by me. Because I'm not going to budge. I'm not going to give in. I know what I want. And I'm not going to sway from that. Once I go over a line, I'm not going backwards. If I've decided that I don't want this relationship, I'm not interested, there's nothing that can convince me. And he's a wonderful person. I just don't want to be in a relationship with him. Yeah, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. So you have to make that person more uncomfortable, not you. They have to deal with their silence. They have to deal with the ramifications of things, whatever that may be. So yeah, the cake analogy, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to express something. It sure is. But what choice do we have? Listen, life is short, forever's a long time. I always say this. Life is short. It's going to go by very, very, very quickly. But if you're unhappy or you're miserable, it's going to feel like forever. The days are going to feel like they're dragging. Yeah, Kat just said perspective changes everything. Whenever I get doubt, I force myself to look at it from the opposite side, then make my decisions. Yes. Hi, Margie, how are you? All right, let's take a look at what do we need to know. Deep talks for a Saturday night. But Maria, it's not your problem. Maria just said it makes me cry to see him crying. My mother would always say the words problem ownership. It's not your problem. If this person can't get their life in order or can't figure things out, it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility. We do like it deep, Dana. We sure do. Oh, thank you. Listen, I'm not perfect, Yara. I mean, like, I could have made boundaries better with my family and my relationship. I could have said no to certain things, but he did have it really good, and he'll be the first one to say it. He messed up. But we also can't go backwards. Once you fumble something like that, it's very hard to get on the same page, right? It's all that after full moon energy. It sure is. It sure is. So we need to know the Powerball numbers. Sure do, Mike. Okay, what do we need to know as I'm sitting here in the dark practically? 7 of Pentacles. The seed is planted. It's not going to harvest overnight. No, you're not being unkind, Maria. The problem is that that's overgiving. That's why when I'm always talking about overgiving, that's overgiving. It's not your job to heal anybody else. It's not your job to take on their problems. Look, you can be kind, but you also have a capacity, right? Don't ignore your capacity. It's not unkind. And if somebody, let me put it this way. This might sound really like blunt, but I mean it respectfully. If somebody cannot respect that you have a capacity or that you're saying no, then that tells you about a person. Because in theory, it would be a bit selfish. Because everybody has their own capacity. Everybody has the right to their choices and to be in their own lane. They don't have to do what somebody else wants them to do. So if they want to cry and they want to sit in whatever energy, that's up to them, but they don't have to involve other people. And I don't have to feel guilted into being there. I can be there at a certain level or a certain capacity, but I cannot be responsible for someone else's decisions. I can only be responsible for my own. And if that makes me sound mean, then so be it. I cannot be responsible for someone else's life decisions because that's their life, and I'm responsible for my own. And ultimately, human nature says you are number one. If it comes down to survival, if it's going to be you or me, it's going to be me. You have to recognize that you are first in all of this. It is your life. It is your soul. It is your body. It is your existence. And you don't have to sacrifice that for anyone. And anybody who guilts you into that, then that would be like a red flag for me. Because friends will always understand. Partners who really love you will understand. Sometimes letting go of somebody is absolute love. Yeah, life hack mode activated. I mean, do you think, let me give you a very quick example. The person who sparked me, do you think I wanted to let him go at the time? I didn't want to let him go, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to him. He told me, I can't give. Kelly, nothing good can come of this situation. Kelly, why do you let me do this? And here I am going, but I love you, but. I wasn't thinking about the trauma he had. I wasn't thinking about the grief that he had. I wasn't thinking about the family issues that he had. I was thinking about myself. I wanted to be chosen and I wanted to be loved and I wanted this, and this. So there was really no balance there. I was having expectations for him to do whatever I wanted. And when I finally got the enlightenment or the light bulb went off or my capacity level reached its limit, I said, you know what? Go press your luck, no whammies, just like the game show. This is the price they have to pay, the risk that they take. I may not be there going forward, and that's okay. But I let go because of unconditional love. I loved myself more because I didn't want to deal with it anymore, but I also loved him. And what that meant was not providing more strife or more problems or more expectations when there was no capacity. That's something he has to work out. And if he does, great. I really hope that he is well. I don't even know. I'm sure he is. I hope so. But I'm not chasing. I don't reach out. We haven't spoken in years. And there's a reason for that. Because I have to do what's right for me and I have to do what's right for the situation. Because I have to look at the bigger picture. I can't be selfish in this. I have to look at the other players in the mix here. It's not just me. It's another person's life. You know? Oh my God, they do warn, but I believe I was the end game of her doubt. It's not about you, Danny. That's the thing. It's never about us. They don't have the capacity. It's not a matter of whether they love you or don't love you. They don't feel good about themselves. And if they don't feel good about themselves, why do we think they're going to commit? How will they be able to provide? How will they be able to be there emotionally? How will they be able to actually be a true partner if they don't feel good about themselves, if they don't love themselves, if they don't like themselves, if they haven't dealt with past traumas, triggers, and hurts? What makes us think that they're going to be able to be there for hours? We have to fill our own cup. That's why they say, fill your own cup so that you can help other people, right? Put your oxygen mask on first before you give it to someone else. Take care of yourself before you're taking care of others. And I always use this example. When I'm in a session and I can give you extra time, many of you know this, I will give you extra time because I have it and I don't mind giving it. If there are days where I can't give it, I can't give it. I end the session right at the time because I have to, because I don't have it available. But I will if I can, but that doesn't mean I have to. There's no such thing as I have to do something or that you have to do something. Was I afraid of being alone? I think that's a natural feeling, Raven, but I also know that I am resilient and that we are resilient as human beings. And there are 8 billion people in this world and you can find other people to love and other people to love you. So no, I don't believe in being alone because we determine whether we're alone. We either keep walls up or we make boundaries that are allowing us to be flexible and move forward, right? So I never doubted my decisions. No, Maria, no. I'm not saying I didn't have moments of like, oh my gosh, I'm scared, but in the end, no. Oh, thank you, Diane. I always try to give my past experiences as an example because if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. My goodness, we've all been through crazy stories. I mean, I hear some of the most incredible stories every day in the sessions that I do. Be proud of yourself for how far you've come. You have knowledge, you have wisdom, you have experience. You're on this journey. Everybody's at a different point. Some experience things earlier in life, some experience later in life. Some, you know, reach their capacity now, some later, but at a certain point, you know, it should click and switch, right? Mike just said sometimes you have to love someone enough to let them go in order to learn to love yourself, to know who is worthy of your heart. Absolute. That's why we have what's called the twin flame journey. If we use that label, yes, I use that label because people like that label. But if you were to ask me, this is all about self-love. I love you, but I love myself more. I'm worthy of it. My boundaries can allow me to have better. That's why I call my series Manifesting the Better. If you want to manifest the better, you got to get better. You got to be better. You got to move up the cake one tier at a time, Nick. Exactly. Gemini just said, I've been alone so long now. I don't think I could be in another relationship. You can. It's just fear. You're just in fear. And sometimes you've created a habit and that comfort zone, but you know that you crave connection. Everybody craves connection. Thank you, Maria. I'm definitely more open right now to sharing more of my stories, even ones that you guys don't know. And that's why I'm making the series, to talk about all the angles of like what I went through. There's a million topics in those videos. So I think I'm meant to be here to share those with people. And look, you don't have to do what I do. I'm not here to force you. You can do whatever you want with the information. You can like it, you can not like it. It really doesn't matter. What matters is you have to do what's best for you. You got to try it out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then you got to figure something else out. Thank you, DR. I really appreciate it. Hi, Zon. You're welcome, Raven. Anyway, so that Seven of Pentacles, and what do we need to know is about the seed is planted. It's not going to harvest overnight. And this says exhaustion. Everybody's exhausted, but you have to surrender. Again, hi, Veronica. It's all about surrender. Yeah, Kelly Lorraine, the interactive experience. Right. You still have dreams about your ex from a year ago. We were together for 9 years and I'm still sort of finding it hard to let go, but I think it's just a process that takes time. It is, Emma, and it's also testing you. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? It's really what it is. It's because subconsciously that's something you crave, you miss. And that's normal. Thank you, Devin. I appreciate it. Same to you. Look, exhaustion means surrender, not give up. Hi, Veronica. On both platforms. Hi, C. It's never about giving up. Giving up is useless. It's not give up. We surrender. Hi, Jenny. How are you? How to let go of the old. Spark new energy. I never waited. I always dated. I was always dating, always putting myself out there, always trying new things, trying new hobbies, new energy, new learning as much as I could about new things that I was interested in. So DR just said, the dreams are so hard because honestly, you're right. I do crave this person like whenever I feel alone. That's the comfort zone. That's not so comfortable. People are afraid of new energy. Do I dream about the past? Oh, sure I do. Sure I do. Yeah, never waited, always dated, Veronica. In the last 8 years since my separation, always dated. Even when I loved, oh my gosh, even when I loved that spark so much. Remember the stories of how many doppelgangers? I'm better, Veronica, thank you. Remember how many doppelgangers I dated? They all looked the same zodiac signs, same cultural background, same height, same everything. I was trying to recreate, but I needed to go through that process in order to get better. And of course, they were all avoidant. Why do you think I know avoidant attachment? I mean, we're not just talking about like a shell of avoidant. I mean, we know we have dismissive avoidant, fearful avoidant. I dated a lot of avoidance. Now, I don't have a tolerance for the same things that I used to. So Raven, that means you have to learn the lesson. I know, Zon. 3 weeks, no contact. You feel lost. You have to spark new energy. So if it's the same type every time, then your boundaries have to get better, Nicole. That's really what it is. You're welcome, Emma. So exhaustion, see, you got to rise above. You got to rise above. It's a transition, changing, third eye, intuition. Wow, I feel like I'm really sitting in the dark here. I apologize. I didn't realize I'd be in deep talks tonight, but every now and again we need it, right? Sarah just said, new energy is super exciting. It took me a long time, years after getting my heart shattered, and I'm just trying to befriend someone, but the new energy is so nice. It sure is. Okay, Pandy, I love you, but we can't right now. So Maria, that's just fear. But how do you know that something's not going to be the best thing that ever happened to you? Thank you, Mimo. The Hermit card, hope and or fear. You've got to search your soul and ask yourself, what do you want? It doesn't look dark from there. Okay, because man, I feel like I'm really sitting in the dark right now. Okay, thanks, Steph. See, you said it at the same time as Dana. Yeah, it's not dark outside, but the room feels quite dark. I didn't know, otherwise I would have put the lights on. So okay, Pandy's now coming from the other angle here, and I'm sorry, Pandy, you have to wait. The Hermit card, heart fog. See, this is the thing, right? Mixed signals, blocked emotions, messed up. It's like not being able to make a decision, right? Nick just said, erase the template and start over. Set better boundaries and demand different. Exactly. Look, there's no harm in asking. Somebody's either going to give to you what you want or they're not. So you got to let it go. Was I ever scared to move on? Yes. I mean, Maria, when I had to decide about my separation and divorce, that was a very tough decision. And the video that I filmed today actually was all about the fact that I froze. I was scared because you build something for so long, you live a certain way, you only know your routine, but you also reach a breaking point. And you have to know, well, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. I talk about the gambler a lot, but it's really true. Aw, thanks, Nick. Nick said, I'm still the brightest light in the room. I appreciate it. Yeah, the sun is up till 9:30, 10. That's true. It might be scary at first, Ardella said, but push through the fear. Nicole said, my LOL, my boundaries is why it only lasts less than a week. But Nicole, that's why it gets easier every time. Kelly by candlelight. Exactly, Mike. Oh, thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. But at the same time, Nicole, I'm going to give you a bit of a devil's advocate on that. That's also you possibly cutting it out or cutting it off before you've really given it a chance because of what you subconsciously want. A lot of people think that they're very open, right? But sometimes we find reasons not to like somebody or to give somebody a chance, right? Yeah, Sarah said, I promise it gets better. And it does get better. Tell Mike that's a subscription service, Kelly by Candlelight. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the Hermit and Heart Fog. See, Dana says it definitely gets better. Kat just said, when I noticed the pattern, I turned the mirror on myself. What did I need to heal to break that cycle? Exactly. We have to be self-aware. We have to look in the mirror and say, why is this not working? Or why are they running? They're running from themselves, but so are we, right? So here's the eagle, which is telling us to challenge the status quo. Hi, Alexis. Thank you. Aloha to you too. Who said that to you? It was Nick. Nick said that to you, Mike. Challenge the status quo. You want different, you got to do different. If things aren't changing, then it's up to you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me a million times, shame on me. And I've learned that lesson the hard way. The sassy Sag. That's right, Nick. Oh, I don't know, Raven. Maybe he's busy today. So let's see. Nicole just said, oh, I was a people pleaser, so I broke that one. Now I realize my worth, but yes, maybe I was a little harsh. Sometimes we find reasons, again, back to what I was saying earlier, we find reasons not to do something or not to like somebody. You know, Jay Shetty, and pardon me, because I don't have the words verbatim. There was a video that Jay Shetty did recently where he said, in this day and age, people who are consistent and who are nice are seen as the red flags. The ones who try. The ones who, you know, run and we're chasing after it, we feel like there's this excitement or this chemistry, that because we have this chemistry, it must be meant to be. And in reality, it's the slow burn that brings you the long-term gain. Sarah just said, I met this guy on Halloween. I was too scared to burden him and didn't give him my number. Thursday, I saw him again. We talked and exchanged numbers. A friend is great, and I'm proud of myself. Good for you, Sarah. I remember you mentioning that before. Don't worry about burdening somebody, and don't speak for another person. You know, I used to have friends that would say to me, well, what does he want with me? I'm this age. I've already had kids, or I had a hysterectomy, or I had this, I had that. It's like, don't talk for that person. Let them decide what they want. Good, Sarah. I'm glad to hear that. Should you be healing or moving on with this situation that you have, Zon? I would be healing and living your best life and sparking new energy and seeing where it takes you. Right? And if that person is going to come correct, you'll know. But if you wait, you're going to continue to wait. Whenever somebody says, I'm patiently waiting, there's a part of me that goes, ugh, because the two words are contradictory in my opinion. In my opinion. Think about it. Waiting means you're going when. You're counting every second, every minute, every hour, every day. When. You're going to wait. Patience is not waiting. Patience is I'm going to go live my life. I'm going to spark new things. I'm going to put myself out there and let things attract to me as I'm living my life. Letting things unfold in due time. Nick just said, instead of loving the thrill of the chase, learn to love the stability of being earned. Yeah. Carol Ann just said, don't wait. It makes you feel really annoyed when you want to talk to people. Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome, Nicole. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. And again, people can do whatever they want with the information. It is what it is. You don't have to do what I say. You don't have to believe. You don't have to whatever. It's up to you to take whatever you can from this conversation. And if not, and if something's working for you, by all means do it. I just want the best of the best for all of you. That's what it comes down to, right? Because you deserve it. I've met so many amazing people on this journey. I've talked to you in so many different capacities. And the bottom line is that you are worth the love. You are worth the effort. But you have to believe that in yourself. Gemini just said, I will never say patiently waiting again. And it's an observation. How many people do you know say, I'm patiently waiting? I see it in comments all the time. I'm patiently waiting. I'm patiently waiting. It's a contradiction. It's almost like telling the universe one thing and then doing the other. Nick just said, how many rounds do you want to go? Yeah, this is definitely my stop. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Nicole. That's tough. But there's not much you can do. That's right. You're only patiently waiting when you're cooking something like cookies, Jennifer said. I'm patiently waiting for my chocolate chip cookies or peanut butter cookies, whatever it may be. You're welcome, Zon. Focus on yourself. I know it's tough. It's an up and down. It's a roller coaster always, right? All right. Probable outcome. Nick just said, I'm just patient at this point, or learning to be. Patience is something that is so difficult. Why do you think trust the process is the hardest thing to do? Yeah. And Nicole, you're working on it. You're getting better. And that's all that matters. Step by step and day by day. Probable outcome. I always ask this question. Hi, Peter. I always ask this question. Probable outcome. How well do you know me? How well do you know me? What's the probable outcome? Tell me the card. Tell me the card. This wouldn't be a Kelly Lorraine evening reading without this. Tell me. If you know, you know. If you've been with me a long time, and I'm sorry to anybody who's new, that if you don't know. If you don't know. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Look, you cannot make it up. You cannot make it up. Trust the process. The Knight of Pentacles is infuriating. The slowest moving knight in the deck, like molasses. Yeah, the Knight of Snails, you got it. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. It's not meant to be fast. Would you like anything premature? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, the eyeballs say it all. Like, seriously, would you want something that is rushed? Would you want something that is like this? Rides in fast, leaves just as fast. Veronica's like, never. The universe is going to teach us patience whether we want to learn it or not. Exactly. Yeah. Cookies have to be cooked perfectly. I was trying to say the two words at the same time. So, DR, I say this to you with love. Saying those statements is an expectation, and that means you're trying to control it. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner in 2068 is what I always say. I don't know if I'm going to have pizza, pasta, tacos, steak. I have no clue, and neither do you. If we're trying to set an expectation or to tell the universe what is what, you're going to get resistance. That's why we say trust the process. And I say that to you with love. When I pooked it, that was crazy. When I pooked it, yeah. Is the trust the process guy in your past the one you really loved? Oh, I definitely loved him. Absolutely loved him. Absolutely. I am forever grateful, Maria. I'm forever grateful for all the lessons he taught me. He gave me all the information from the horse's mouth. He gave me everything to share with all of you. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the base information. So he has given me the greatest gift I could have ever been given. Truly. Because if you think about it, if I hadn't experienced that, where would I be? Living my old life, somewhat okay, somewhat happy, but not really. It gave me all the information and learning and healing that I needed. Now, it continues because he was the starting point. But we also know that manifesting the better means that I'm going to experience better. And I have experienced better. And when you experience the better and at a different level, all of a sudden you get a whole new perspective. You don't have to force it. That person shows up. That person communicates. And they're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. But you're going to experience the better. And if that's better, imagine what's even beyond that. It could even be better than that. So you can't have the attachment. You have to really enjoy that present moment or let it unfold the way that it's supposed to. He gave me the gift of self-rediscovery. Yes, absolutely. Yours taught you that you won't put up with what you won't put up with anymore. So you sent him away with love. Exactly. Sparks ignite us. It's up to build our flame. Exactly. But people get caught up in the romance of something or in the limerence of something even. Did I hate him for that at the time? Never. I've never hated him. He and I have never had a bad word between us. There was never an FU. There was never an argument. There was never a bad feeling ever. Nothing but unconditional love. I wish him to this day the most happiest, loving, beautiful energy. That's all I could ever want for him. And I know he would want that for me too. And you know, there's something true, in my opinion, about I think it's called the invisible string theory, or I think that's what it is, or the fact that once your contract is kind of over, that you don't ever see each other again. Because honestly, in 5 years, I've never seen him at a gas station, at a grocery store, or anywhere locally, ever. Once, I should say once, but he didn't see me. It was in passing. I was walking and I saw his car drive by. And I don't know if he saw me. We are from a very close proximity that I'm shocked we have not run into each other anywhere. We don't have social media with each other. I don't have his phone number. I don't try to find it. Look, it is what it is. So no. Hi to Marilyn. How did I manage my feelings after that? Spark new energy. Date other people. Put myself in new situations. No. Do I feel like there's this one person that like I'm really weak for? Like the person, my heart just goes to this person? No. Because I'll tell you why, and I'll be really brutally honest with this. I have experienced many different connections that I can honestly say that I loved for various reasons. I could have been happy in this aspect. I could have been happy in that aspect. I could have been happy here. I could have been happy there. There are many people that you can love and for very different reasons that could make me weak for many different reasons. Now, ultimately, if I'm in a current situation or a relationship, that person is going to have my absolute focus and my absolute love and attention. And there will be no one else that I even think about or dream about or want, because I'm choosing this person that makes me feel this way. So there are many people that you can have feelings for in regards to a nice connection. That doesn't mean you're still in love with them, but it can mean that you can value the time you had together, or be thankful for the time you had together, or remember that love. Planty, I'm going to be doing paid readings live on probably Wednesday night. I'm well, Lucia, thank you. Your grandfather said something once that made you laugh. You know how to get over this guy, right? Get under another one. Well, it's funny. That's a very, I used to always say that to one of my Leo friends, the best way to go get over someone is to get under someone. I don't know if I agree with that per se, but I do think that putting yourself out there does help. Eventually it will stick. It will, although that doesn't sound good either. I was thinking of like spaghetti, like throwing spaghetti on the wall. It will stick. But true love is a choice that you make when the chemistry starts to fade. Yeah. Chemistry is not something that is long-term necessarily. It's two people choosing to be together. Hi, Elijah. You've never seen your ex again in over 12 years? Yeah, it happens that way, Dana. It really does somehow. Yeah, so let's see. Knight of Pentacles, trust the process. Divine feminine. Chemistry does have a shelf life. It does. Here is a scenario of someone is with someone else but isn't happy but wants you. What to do? You don't wait and you don't stick around. They will not make a move, Raven. They will not. Because whenever we're waiting on someone else to make a move, we wait. That person cannot realistically jump from one relationship to another expecting that they're going to be healed and be able to give. They will not have the capacity to give. Does my family or friends pressure me about being single? No, not at all. No, not at all. And I wouldn't classify myself really as single. I think that we have to remember that life is about living and putting yourself out there. So I'm living my life and I'm putting myself out there always, regardless. And I know it's tough, Raven. It really is. But I've been in that position, and I know I've been on the other side of that. My ex-husband, did he leave? Did he go and be with the person he had the affair with? No. Statistically, it doesn't always work out that way. It can happen, of course, but statistically, it doesn't usually go that way. Sometimes you have to stop and work on yourself in between instead of just moving on right away. A lot of people just move on and sweep it under the rug and hope that it's not going to flare up, but that it always does later on. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lucia, that you went through that. But look, divine feminine energy. That's what happens when you trust the process. Would I marry again? Absolutely. Yeah, of course I would. If it was the right scenario, sure. Why not? All right, last card. Divine feminine, trust the process. Ooh, the scythe. Cutting something out. It says liberate, and it also says shock, ripping off the Band-Aid. Interesting energy. A lot of shocking energy. Now, that's not to say, by the way, that there aren't people who are going to make moves, or that people that you were in a relationship with at one point aren't ever going to change. I do believe that people can change, but you have to allow them the space to make those changes. As long as you're there, as long as you're a crutch, as long as you're at arm's length, they will not make those moves. When you make the boundary, you let them sit in their silence, or you let them, hi, Karma. Here's Karma coming here. There's a chance. A chance. It's not a guarantee, but it's a chance. But you have to be willing to trust the process and allow things to unfold. You try to force it, you're going to get resistance and you're not going to get what you want. Let it unfold. You have a chance. But you can't bank your whole life on that chance. You've got to do what you got to do for you. And I know that it's tough. I've been there, believe me. I feel your pain if this is something that you're struggling with. TTP at a snail speed, Christine, it is. But you know what? The more moves you make, the more investment into yourself you make, the more things move quickly. The more you wait, the slower it all becomes. So, all right, my friends. Well, this turned out to be a very deep, long, well, we like deep and long, deep, long reading and conversation. You know, I love having deep talks, and hopefully I was able to bring something to the table tonight for you to think about. Would I marry my ex again? No, 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 no. No offense to him. No. I'm not attracted to him in that aspect at all. I think he's a wonderful person, but no, I'm not interested in a relationship. It wouldn't matter if he came correct or not. That line has been crossed, or that ship has sailed is how I would describe it. What other adjectives are we throwing in the mix, Nick? Yeah, there you go. Oh, me too, Veronica. Always lovely to see you. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. No, you're not the only one. Nobody is the only one in this scenario. Would you believe? Let me remind all of you about something very quickly. If you didn't know this, my conversations every single day of my life in sessions are this exact same topic. Like, as an example, if you felt comfortable enough, show a hand, an emoji, if this is something you've ever discussed, you've ever experienced. Show everybody right now that you're not alone, because I know that this is the conversation 1,000, 1,000,000, infinity% is what I experience every single day of my life in every single session that I do every day. Look at the hands. Thumbs up, hands up. You're all experiencing the same thing as I did. Maybe not 100%, every little detail, but the underlying, right, peace sign, exactly. Every underlying situation is the same. It is based on the fact that we overgive, we lack boundaries, we put everybody else first. I want you to look at it around at each other. I feel like if we were in a room together, I would say, look around the room right now. Right? TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, just so you all know, you're doing the exact same thing. Thumbs up, hands up. Because it's a universal thing. This is not new. This has been around since the beginning of time. But it's been amplified by societal changes, media, expectations, right? Okay, now I feel like I'm really sitting in the dark. I gotta run. I've got to do a few things before I relax in front of the TV. It's really nice to see you guys. It was a really nice talk. I know it was deep. Again, my intention is not to trigger anybody. I just want you all to be happy. We're meant to be loved. Of course we are. But the love starts within ourselves, Maria. It starts within ourselves, always. If you don't love yourself, what does that attract? Right? Bye, Shell. Have a wonderful night. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Thanks, Steph. I will. I'll definitely be safe. I'm a lot smarter now from my last experience. Yeah, no boundaries is cool until you get crushed by life. Much love to you too. Thanks, Becca. Thanks, Zon. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Gemini. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Kay. I appreciate it. To all of you watching, I send you the most love I could possibly send you. You deserve it. Yes, and Wednesday night I'll do the readings That's okay. You probably have, Tanya, because for 4 years, this has been really the topic of conversation on my TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, and I will repeat it over and over and over again as many times as I need to. Thank you, Renee. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your night, everybody. And I'll post the link for the live readings on Wednesday very soon. Thank you, Becca. That is an amazing help. And Dana, I appreciate it too. For the moderators. You guys are incredible. Oh, dinner tonight. I already ate. I ended up having like a burger patty with like a kale salad. And I had a Ninja Creamy strawberry shortcake protein shake with fresh strawberries mixed in. So that was my dinner tonight. But I wish you guys a wonderful rest of your night. Dinner, sleep, movie, salt bath, whatever it may be. Yeah, the Ninja Creamy. Christine, I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so good. I'm doing a lot of low carb, high protein right now. So, all right, everybody. I got to run. Take care, Instagram, and have a wonderful rest of your night. Okay, YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you a wonderful rest of your night.